Okay, we're gonna get started here. Give me a second. Okay, so I noticed that in there's a few videos that I've done showing y'all how to germinate your seeds. Okay, and I have some I think that I'm currently doing. Okay, it doesn't take long to germinate the seeds the way I showed y'all how to do them. But I didn't show y'all what to do after. And that's what this video is going to be mainly about, okay? So I showed y'all two ways of germinating your seeds. One of them was in a plastic baggie with a paper towel. And another one was in a container with a lid, okay? I don't think I have any. I have to go outside. I may have one that's outside germinating with in the container with a lid. What I didn't show you is what to do after they start to germinate. I explained to you why I do them that way, because I have some seeds that were expired and you're not sure if they're going to work, and it would be ridiculous to put them in some dirt and then nothing happens to them. And the reason nothing will happen to them is because they're expired, but they may possibly still work. So this is a way, and I'm going to show you where I have some that they were expired and nothing happened. They didn't work at all. Okay, so first let's go through those. Let's go through the ones in the baggies. So I explained to you that on the paper towel I write what they are. So I know you can't see it from here, but these seeds are, these say seeds out of my melon that Mark bought me. I don't know the name of them, of the seeds, or what the melon were, but I enjoyed the melons that he bought me. It's really sweet. It's like it was a mixture of a watermelon with a cantaloupe and a, what's that other melon? It was like 3 melons mixed together, and they're so sweet and so good. Every time he buy them for me, they're really sweet and really good. And I kept the seeds. Like, it comes with a lot of seeds, almost like a cantaloupe. You know, you ever cut into a cantaloupe? Yeah, it's a mixture between a honeydew, a cantaloupe. I think those two is what the mix is. And it's so good. And because cantaloupe has a lot of seeds, that's what it looked like. And so what I did, I kept the seeds. And I never knew if they were going to work or not. But they do. They do. They actually work. So I want to grow some. Okay, so I've never grown them. This year I'm going to try and see what the results are. But that's what this says. It says seeds out of the seeds that my husband bought me. So it lets me know. But I just did these yesterday. Okay, so I know that it's not going to be anything here. But I do know that they're good. I do know that the seeds are good. They are germinating, because I germinated some earlier this year. Okay, so I'm just doing it this way, and I'm gonna show you why. So we don't have to look to see at these. I just did these yesterday. I reused the napkin, and I'm not using just a regular smegular napkin, because you can, but I'm not, right? Because hubby have some of these. These are real tough duty, like cloths. And the reason I'm showing y'all this is because I could keep reusing them. Okay? And so why would I keep using new ones when I could keep reusing them? So I use a marker. I write on the napkin of what seeds I'm germinating. I wet the napkin. I wring the napkin out. I put the seeds on top, and I fold it, and I put it in a Ziploc bag, and I zip and put it anywhere. Okay? Some people put theirs in the sunlight. You don't have to put it in the sunlight. I put them anywhere. It could be in a dark, cool place. It could be in a cold. It just don't matter. The reason it may matter is depending on what seeds it is, right? I did learn that because some of them I was having a hard time germinating, even though I knew they were good. And it happens to be like the bell peppers. Peppers need heat. They want warmth. Okay, so what is this? This is some basil. So small. The basil seeds were old, and I just wasn't sure if they were gonna germinate. And they haven't. Look like out of all these seeds, 2 of them germinated. You see that? Out of all them seeds. So that tells me those basil seeds are no good. So I'm gonna get them out my pack and throw them out. Okay, I'm gonna get them out my pack of seeds, and I'm gonna trash them. And I'm gonna put them probably out in my yard. Okay. I think these are them there. Okay, we're gonna throw that out. Okay. See, and it only took like a week or 2 to find out that they're no good. I didn't put them in some soil, you know, water it a few days a week, and just only to find out they didn't work. You know, it's a waste of time doing it that way. It saves you some time doing it the way that I'm showing you. Okay, so what? Something just fell out. Some seeds fell out, possibly here. Okay, so we know, and this was sweet basil. One time and see, I've actually grown some seeds in a little container, and I waited all year. I kept thinking, what's going on? Like, what am I doing wrong? The seeds were no good. Okay, the seeds were no good. I'm gonna just trash this and this at the same time. And the reason I'm not gonna reuse that napkin, I reused it a couple of times already. And unless I'm gonna put some sweet basil on it, let me see. I might reuse this. Let's see if I have any more sweet basil. Basil's so small, y'all. It grows so fast. You don't have to, like the herbs, you don't really have to do this. I do have some basil right here. What's the? Yeah, that's good. Okay. Uh-oh, seeds are falling. See, seeds fell. Now, I do know what these, but I could tell what these are by looking at them. These are okra seeds. And I could tell that these are some type of, these look like, when they fell out, they look like cucumber seeds. Okay, so, now the problem with it is, I don't know which okra seeds. Oh, they fell all over the place. Okay. They're over here also. These can also be peas. I'm gonna have to take a look. One of them is open. So this expired in 12/22. Yeah, see? And so we're gonna check to see. I have checked, and I would tell you that maybe 40% are germinating, and the other isn't. So that's why I'm going to continue to do this, so I make sure that I only do the ones that have germinated. Okay, I hope I'm not confusing anybody. But anyway, we're going to bypass this. There's other videos that I've done showing y'all how to do this already, okay? I don't want to focus on that again. These seeds look like those seeds, but they're not, right? These are smaller and these are larger. Let me show you how you can tell. So I know that this is some type of melon. And by the way, cucumbers is a melon, okay? And these are the ones that came out of that melon that my husband bought me. These look like cucumbers, though. And it really doesn't matter. Like, once I plant them, if they're cucumbers, you can smell them. I'm going to show y'all that in a minute, okay? Anyway, let's get this a little straightened out my way so we can get to the step that I really want to do in this video, okay? Which is show you what I do once they do germinate. Which means I have to find some that has germinated. Okay. Wow, look at those seeds. Y'all see the roots? Y'all see the roots? That means success. Okay, that's success. That's what you're looking for. And you carefully, let me see if I can lower this, get y'all down a little bit closer to the, okay. So this is success. You want to see roots. You want to carefully and gently unfold them. And I could tell those are cucumbers right away. There's a, and the reason I could tell they're cucumbers, of course, I have it written there. Of course, I recognize the seeds, but they smell like cucumbers, y'all. They smell so good right now. And you can see where some of them propagated and some did not, right? It looks like only, you can see the ones that have, okay? Now I'm gonna show you what I do with these. And I'm gonna show you some that I've already done, okay? So give me a second, let me go get that. I do need the space, okay? That's why because what I'm about to bring here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Now you don't have to do them the way, in the exact way that I'm doing them. You don't have to, hey, the cynical one, you don't have to use the exact container I'm using. You can put them directly into a pot or into the ground. I wouldn't, so there's a reason why I wouldn't put them directly into the ground outdoors unless you protect them. The birds will come and eat them. These will not survive if I put these outside in the ground. They know they won't die because they're in the ground. A bird will come and eat them. Some bird will come and just and snap it off and take it off. Okay, they're not hardy enough to be protective. Birds will come and snap them away. And I tried this year I grew, I put 2 cucumbers in the ground, maybe about a month ago now. Put them in the ground. I went out there to water them maybe 2 days later. And I was like, I know I put them here. I'm like, where are they? Like, it just looked like I never planted them there. And I was like, wait a minute. Where are they? You know, as I'm walking up to them, I'm like, I don't see nothing that shows that I planted them there from afar. Because they were about this height, right? It was about that height. And as I get closer, I say, maybe I didn't plant them here. I was like, nah, I'm sure I put them here. And so I looked down and I could see a portion of the stem, about this little portion of the stem still there, and the upper portion was gone. And I said, oh my goodness. Okay, oh my goodness. Anyway, everything that's in this tray started out the way I'm showing y'all, germinated. They started out germinating, okay? As soon as I saw that they would germinate, which means they have root, right? That means they're good. The seeds are good. I then placed them in something. And I'm going to show you other places that I placed them also, depending on how I decide I'm going to grow, okay? So in this row, I'm not sure. I have to get my tablet to tell you what they are. I can only tell you based on visual, though. This looks like maybe watermelon. Oh, you can't see what I'm looking at, right? What I'm pointing at. Now, visually, see, it gets very difficult if you don't name things. It will start being real confusing. Once they get a certain height, you usually can't tell what they are, and that's why it's important to name what they are. Okay, so I'm getting a little better, but this look like it might be a cucumber. I can smell it. Let me see. No, that's not a cucumber. So, yeah, that's not a cucumber. Because you can smell the cucumbers, okay? I can definitely tell the watermelons. And this one, it's not fully grown enough for me to know for sure. That might be a watermelon, because I see a third sickle right up in there. and when it grows out, I should be able to tell you what it is. I can tell that this is an okra. Okay, I can tell that this, so that means these are okra. Um, I'm not sure what this is, but it is written down in my notebook. These are something as well. They're small. The seed is still on there. You see right there, you can see the seed. Okay. Um, this I can tell is a watermelon. And I can tell by this one leaf right here. Kind of, it's probably a sugar baby. Um, I have something in here. I can't remember what it is. I put them in the dirt. I covered them up, but you can see they popping up. But they was already germinated before I put them in here. There's nothing in these 2 rows. That's what we're going to fill up. This look like a watermelon. I think this is a cucumber. Can't tell right now. And I'm not sure at this point. Okay. What's going on, China? Wait, what? Hey, how you doing? Hey, Pierre. I'm doing good. Okay, so it's nice to see you, China White. I miss you. I'll be thinking about you, hoping that everything good with you and the fam. Okay, so y'all, I am going to go live later on, but I'm doing this right now. So I'm going to show y'all what I do, okay? After they germinate, I decide what I'm going to put them in. You can put them in a small little container. These are small little cells, right? You see them? So it's nothing big. It's just a rope. It's just a whole stack of them like this. And this little tray has a tray in it, so it helps you self-water. I mean, I don't have to water it all the time. I make sure there's some water at the bottom, and the plant will kind of absorb the water as it needs it, which is a great idea. Okay, it's a great idea. These will not survive outside, not in the ground, because the birds will get them. And they won't even survive on a table because the birds will get them unless you have a cover for them. They have outgrown the cover that goes with it. These have. Okay. So what a lot of growers do, they transplant them from one to another size, to another size, to another size. And I don't want to do that. I'm going to be honest. The only reason I have this is because I do germinate. And so I said, okay, when I germinate, the way I do is a lot of seeds. And I have this where I could put them in. After this, though, they're going to go in the cup. Okay, you can hold up. Let me show you. Okay, so now I'm disappointed in this one. Okay, see, this is just a cup. A cup I had hubby buy from Dollar Tree. This is a great size cup. And this plant was grown from here to here. In fact, y'all saw me when I took this out of this outdoors a few weeks back. Okay, when the mosquitoes tore me up. Now, this plant looked so healthy then. But that heat wave that we just got into, look what happened to it. Baby, let me tell you something. Some plants do not like extreme heat. Now, this was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. I had to bring it indoors. I almost cried. The ones that I had planted in the ground survived no problem. They can handle the heat. See, we don't understand Mother Earth, baby. The earth itself take care of its own. Okay? It protects it from the heat. Because even if when you look at the soil, it may look dry, but underneath, right? The rain, so the gravel drains, right? The gravel drains away, but underneath the gravel, it keeps the soil really moist. So when it rains and it goes into the ground holds it. Especially if Mother Earth, man, when you think about the process, is so extremely magical. Because when I went out there and looked at the dirt around my plants, I was like, oh my God. I did not know we was in a heat wave because it's cold in my house. And we had already been 3 days in by the time I found out. And I said, oh shit, I didn't go out there and water anything. So I go out there and everything looks good in the ground. And I'm like, good. Then I go to the things where I never put in the ground, and this looked so bad. Now, it looked better than it did when I brought it indoors. Okay, I brought it indoors, and these look bad, but I still think there's hope in it. Okay, the roots, as long as the roots are good, if I could keep those alive and everything good, then it will continue to grow. These things will fall off naturally, and it'll grow. Okay, this is not like a plant that once the leaves die and may die. This is something different. Okay. So anyway, I'm so hurt about that. But anyway, I buy a cup and I put a few cuts on the side. Click, 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 just for some drainage. And then I put soil in it and I put it inside. And then I won't have, the next time I unplant this will be directly in the ground. Okay. You could go from something this small into something that size. And yeah. And then from that, you go directly into the ground. Okay. So if I wanted to, I can go directly from this into that big cup. Now, why wouldn't I do that? Because so much soil, right? Most people wouldn't do that. Most people would say, hey, because I could part that soil. Like I could take all that soil in that cup and I could fill up all of these rows with just that soil. I could do that. Right? That's why most people don't do it that way. Okay, you do it in stages. They do it in stages. There's a reason to do it in stages. I just don't want to do it in all those stages like that all the time. Okay, so I bought this. It wasn't very expensive. Hubby got it for me. Catch them when they're on sale. You get 2 of these things for like $10. Okay, I don't know how much they are now. Okay, the world has changed in a few short months, the prices of things have changed, but eventually they will go on sale. Okay. Anyway, what I'm gonna do now is I am gonna show you how I take this and put it in here. Simple. Just be very careful. You don't want to destroy the roots. Okay. You want to loosen it up as much as possible. Y'all see that? As simple as that. Okay. And ooh, it smells so good, y'all. This smells like cucumbers already. Okay. I bet you this will go good in a salad. You know those microgreens? That's what it be, different things. It be regular plants that if they grow fully, it'll be full out plants. But they don't let them get full. They wait till they get really small and they're really tasty. So if you into microgreens, you get your little system and get you some seeds and grow your own microgreens. Okay, this smells so good. Oh my God! Without eating a cucumber, you would feel like you eating a cucumber just by eating the greenery. Okay, but you will want this to get a little bigger, of course, right? But at this point, I should taste it. I don't feel like tasting it right now. I want my cucumbers. Anyway, so did y'all know you don't have to grow in dirt? Like, you could grow your plants in rocks, right? Once I learned that, when I learned that I didn't need soil, or anything like that, then, right, I wrapped my brain around, okay, well, what if I don't need dirt? Like, once I found out about hydroponics and aquaponics, I was like, well, wait a minute. You don't need soil? No, you don't need soil. And so this isn't soil. Hubby, let me show y'all. Hubby drinks a lot of tea. Okay. Hubby drinks a lot of tea, and then he leaves me the tea bags, and I reuse what's in the tea bag. And place them in my little cells. Okay. Now I'm gonna keep, this is a bigger one. You can use, and you can also use these things right here, which I showed y'all. They sell them, which is the same thing. It's like core. This is some, I forget what the core, it's called something core. You wet it, and it thickens up, but you do not need soil. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna show y'all what I do so we can move on to my next step. Okay. I'm just gonna, okay, it's back. Am I back, y'all? Somebody called, and my thing goes blank, and I never know what to do after that. So I'm hope I'm here. Anyway, I gotta remember which row, okay? So I'm gonna put it, I'm just gonna take it. I'm gonna put a little, whatever I want in the bottom. I'm gonna put it, I'm gonna use this, no, there's something in that row already. These two are empty, and this one over here, this one right here is empty. Okay, I did put two things in there just to test something, okay? But I'm gonna put it in this one. And you can also use, remember when I was showing y'all how to propagate on one of these, to germinate on one of these? You can also use this in there, okay? You can put that at the very bottom. I'm gonna put that in there. What that will do is also help hold the moisture. And it's 100% cotton, so it won't hurt the plant at all. And then when you go to put it in the ground, you can put it in the ground, okay? I'm gonna thin it out a little bit. Because really, the only thing I'm really looking to do is to be able to hold that plant up, give it some stability. That's all I'm doing, really. Okay, see, I put that in there. I'm going to put just a little bit of something on top. When you think of the science behind this, there's so much you can do, and you don't have to do it the old way. Then I'm going to put that, and I want the roots to be covered. That's what's important, right? We don't want the heat or the sunlight to damage the root. That's what's important, to cover them. So, I thought I had a, yeah, I do. Here we go. Actually, and I'm gonna just cover them roots. You want to make sure the roots are covered. That's what's important, y'all. The roots. Them your baby. The roots is what needs to be protected. Okay? I can still see the roots there. I'm going to put some water in here in a minute. Let me get that real quick. Let's see. I'm going to put some water in this. Okay. And I'm going to water that in. And then from now on, she'll go into my grow lights. Okay? And that's it. You just want to make sure the roots are covered. Okay? The roots are covered. And bam. I'm going to give y'all a close up so y'all can see it. The roots are safely covered in there. At this stage, it doesn't need any nutrients or anything like that. At these stages, there's no need for nutrients. In fact, you just need water. Basically, water up until a certain stage. Okay? Needs to be watered Not until it starts fruiting is when I would start giving it certain type of nutrients and things like that, okay? Plus the soil that I'm using, the corn, things like that, it has some nutrients in it, okay? Okay, cool. I showed y'all how to do that. I'm going to quickly, maybe possibly do these real quick because I definitely don't. Let's see. Just going to lay you in there, put some water on you. You're going to swell up for me. And I'll check on that in a few. So I'm going to move this out the way because I'm going to show y'all the next way that I do them. I think y'all seen that I purchased these cake cups. They do come in different sizes, okay? I think I've got I can't remember, but I think these are like the 2-inch. I'm not sure, okay? And this part is the inches. I could have gotten bigger ones, and I should have gotten bigger ones, right? I like this size, but I'm gonna show you why I could have gotten bigger ones. And so let me see. So if I had bigger ones, I could have set it on top of jars like this, right? But I do have one that's outside. Let me see if I can go get it. Hold on. Oh, I see it. It's indoors. Okay. I thought it was outside, but it's indoors. I got, see, so it fit in on top of this kind of jar nicely. Okay. Y'all see that? So, and hubby cut me out soda bottles, a top, lots of them. Lots of them, baby, lots of them, okay? Y'all know I drink soda, okay? I've been saying I need to stop, but I ain't stopped. I drink a 2-liter a day in a 24-hour period, okay? Bomb gotta stop, but Bomb, she ain't slowing down, baby. She ain't slowing down. Okay. So listen, this is for the ones who may want to grow. You don't really have a yard. You may have a windowsill. You may even have a balcony, or you just have a little space in the front of at your front door or back door that gets some sunlight. You could grow a full plant in this bottle, in this size bottle. In this size bottle, you're gonna have to refill this bottle a couple of times, but you could grow in this bottle. But I'm assuring you that if you wanted to grow a whole cabbage head, a cabbage, this is just a 2-liter bottle, you can grow a whole cabbage head with just this bottle, okay? Without really filling it up. It could take you all the way through, from beginning to end, right? So if you're a beginner grower, you don't have no reason not to grow if you have a space with some sunlight, okay? You don't have to go and buy no containers and things like that if you already drink sodas like myself. And you don't have to buy no dirt neither if you have water. This is called hydroponics, okay? Aquaponics is uses of water and fish. And the fish kind of nutrient the water by you feeding them. Hydroponics, though, is strictly water. Okay, strictly water, and then you end up putting some vitamins in the water later, later through the growth. And that depends on what you're growing. the things that fruit definitely need some nutrients and things. The greeneries don't really need much. You could just grow greenery with water, okay? Now, should I go get the one outside? It's growing real nice and pretty. Do I have any inside that's growing hydroponically that's getting big? No, I don't have any yet. Okay, the weather is finicky in this area. It's just getting warm enough for me to grow. That's why it's taking so long. Y'all know I started earlier, like a couple of months back, and then it got cold. Y'all put the stuff outside. It got cold one night, and it decimated everything. Right in goddamn May. That's crazy. And just this week, it's about to fall in the, they say 70. I hope it don't go in the 60s. But I took everything from outside that may not do well. Okay, the one thing that could handle all that weather, something came and ate my cabbage, y'all. It came and ate it. The cabbage was looking pretty, too. It was looking pretty. And now, if I go show it to you, baby, whatever ate the cabbage, you love cabbage. Because it ate my damn cabbage, okay? And that's my fault. I should have put something around it to make sure that didn't happen, and I didn't. Hubby told me he was going to do it, but apparently he didn't do it neither. And all you need is like cayenne pepper. Things like this will help your plant survive through their tender ages, to keep bugs and things away that could really eat it early. Cayenne pepper, cinnamon, baking soda. Don't put the baking soda on the leaves. Put it around. Okay, they got a lot of bugs and things that will eat your plants. That they don't like these things. Okay, and baking soda is like a natural insect repellent. Okay, it won't kill them. Not looking to kill them. You're looking to make sure they don't go around them. Okay, and if you got snakes, then the snakes and what keeps the deer away, because we have deer and foxes and shit in our backyard. Okay, I use a bar soap. Put a bar soap in, wrap it up in a towel, and sit it out there. The smell, they don't like those smells. The smells deters them. And also, what's the other trick I have? I put ammonia on a towel, put it in a Ziploc bag, and punch holes in the Ziploc bag, right? The reason you put it in a Ziploc bag, because when it rains or things like that, you don't want the towel to dry up that quick, right? Because as soon as it's too sunny, it'll dry up. If it rains, it'll get wet and wash it all away. Put it in a Ziploc bag, punch a few holes just for the smell. You just want the smell to kind of leach out. Little by little. You just want the smell, and it deters different things, okay? Anyway, those are my little natural tricks. Do not use any chemicals around your garden. Please don't do that. You have to go buy your shit. If you go, what you growing a natural garden for if you're gonna be putting chemicals on it? Okay, you may lose a few leaves on a plant, but it'll survive. Okay, jeez, yeah, throw some cayenne pepper. No, it'll keep the birds away. Okay. Anyway, here's my next trick. Here's one. This is the same tea bag stuff that's in there. Okay, it's nothing in there except that. I think it looked like I have a cotton ball in there. And then what I'll do, take my little seedling, put her in there. Okay, she smells so good. She's a her, okay? We might have to give her a name, baby. We might have to name her. These cucumbers smell so good. I love cucumbers too. So you really don't need dirt, soil, or anything. And really, I don't even really need this. Like, if I had something to put in here that would keep her standing, and so the roots can do its thing, then you wouldn't even need this. I see where people use clay balls. Clay balls, and I would have used clay balls too if they wasn't so expensive. The hell I'm gonna use all them clay? I'm trying to do cheap. Why would I buy something that's more expensive than other? I will have to use dirt if I gotta spend all that money on something called clay balls, right? Now let me tell you why you won't use dirt in your house. You might not want to go grab no soil out the yard to plant in your house, right? Y'all do understand why you wouldn't want to do that, right? Because you don't want, you could grow a full garden in your house. That wouldn't be no problem. What you don't want is the snails, the bugs, the ants, and things like that. And that's why you don't go grab no soil from outdoors and bring it indoors. There is an exception to that. You could do that, but you got to take that soil and bake it to kill all bugs and anything that could be in it. Otherwise, you're going to have your indoor garden that look like your outdoor garden, filled with bugs and shit. Okay. Now, the things you could grow indoors would definitely be things that doesn't need pollination, right? Some things need pollination, and therefore, unless you're going to pollinate it yourself, then you need it outdoors so the bees and the butterflies can do their job. Okay. Now, don't quote me on this, but most of the time, those things will be things that flower, right? And those things that flower are fruit of flower, right? Which will be your things like your melons and anything that grow things on it, right? Your fruits, the things that like your cucumbers. Your cucumbers, from my understanding, it need to be pollinated. You need pollination to help that, right? I don't know though. Don't quote me, baby. Because they learning a lot of things, or maybe they already knew some of these things. I'm just learning a lot of these things. Because I don't think even my dad knew. Like, he knew how to grow a garden. But when you start learning the scientific things behind it, then you could grow even differently. You could realize that you don't need to grow outdoors because you can get a grow light, right? Something that imitates sunlight. Okay. Now, so what else does need? Really, I didn't even need that much. I just need to cover those roots. Those roots, as you could tell, you can still see the roots right there. You see that? So I'm going to repackage this. I'm going to pull you out. I'm going to empty you like this. Okay? I'm going to put a little bit of you in there, and then I'll put her in there. What is this? Is that her? Oh, that's that seed. Okay. See? And I'm going to put her in there then. Because you don't need that much. And then I'm going to sit that little bit in there and cover those roots up. Now, did you know you could drown a plant? You would think, well, if a plant can grow in water and the roots grow in water and they love water, then how can you drown a plant? But you can, right? Because plants, their roots also need to breathe. They need oxygen. And so I'm about to show you, the reason I'm bringing that up, because what I'm about to show you now is going to be very important. Let's see, we're gonna actually just work with this one, and we're gonna get a bottle. I should have put water in it already, which I prepared. Okay, we're gonna take this off. You can actually leave this on, because you might want to cover it up, right? Some people don't like, I don't know why, but if your bottle is outside like this, in a clear bottle outdoors, algae will grow in the water because the sunlight, water, and they say that algae, it'll start growing green in the water. But from my understanding, it doesn't hurt the plants at all. People just don't like the way it look. Okay, so what they'll do is either spray paint the bottle with a color that kind of help reflect the light, so the light don't go directly in. I don't think I worry about all that. I went out there now. I'm gonna do a test on it this year, and I'm gonna see. Because people will say a lot of things. They be OCD in it, and I'm not OCD. Don't teach me to be your OCD, okay? Don't teach me your OCD habits. So let me tell you what's important. What's important is that when you put this on top, the very bottom, just the very bottom has to be in water. And I don't have enough water in there now because as you can see, it's not hitting the bottom of that yet. Okay, so I'm going to add some water. Let's see. I'm going to put you in there. I'm going to check you out. And it's still not there, but it's almost there. We're going to be able to tell when we see some, like we see a little bit went in there. It just, let's see. And it's there. Now, let me show you. I'm going to give you another view. I don't know if you could see, but it's barely touching. Okay, I'm going to put a little more water in it. You could tell, you see how the dirt, you could tell the dirt touched because of that. I'm put a little more. And bam. That's all it needs. If you go a little above, it's okay. You just want to make sure that the roots get the water that it needs. And so the thing about what we have in there, the medium that we have in there, it draws up water. And it's going to make sure that the roots gets its water. Okay? And then eventually, I am going to go outside and get the one outside. Okay? Give me a second. Because I want y'all to see what the results will be eventually. Take care of that. It don't like being out there like that. Okay. So here is one, and you see how the water isn't clear? You see the green? That's what they're talking about. Here is, if I'm correct, this is a basil. Okay. You see it? Okay. I'm going to show y'all this, and then I'm going to end this stream. Because so this will eventually be like this. Because this started out as tiny as this in the same type of bottle as you can see. Okay, same container. It started out just like this. And here it is now. Now I am gonna put some more water in this. But do I have to? I do not. This is a basil. It will grow to full maturity. Uh-oh, there's a let me see. She was struggling. There's a bug on here. That's why you don't, I'm going to show it to you. That's why you don't bring, once you have indoor plants and then you have the outdoor plant. You see her crawling? You see it? No, I don't want to kill the bug. And don't worry about bugs being in plants. They help the plants to grow. Unless it's one of those ones that will kill the plant. They do have bugs that will eat your plant, baby. That's why you gotta be very careful. I am gonna knock her ass off of that. When I knock her off, I don't want to knock her off. If I want to get her, I think I'm gonna leave her there. I'm gonna call her too, cause she look like she look like she the moved in, baby. And she taking over, okay? That's what she doing. Anyway, let me show you what happens. Y'all see that? You see all them roots? Y'all see that, right? That's what happens. You could grow. Now I'm about to show you. I'm gonna show you one more thing, and I'm gonna end this. You could grow into a full in this bottle. Would I have to put water in here a couple of times? No, not for no. But will I? Yes. Why? Because the roots gonna follow the water. The water get lower and lower and lower. It doesn't matter. You see, the roots are already down there at the bottom of this, and this is a baby basil, right? It's probably looking for, so how can you drown the roots? You see these airy things right there on the roots? See that they got different type of roots. Or you see there's a portion of the roots that's just following the water. It's in the water, living its best life. And I know why it's growing this long, because this water do have nutrients in it. Okay, I did put nutrients in it because I had already shaken the nutrients up and I didn't want to put it to waste, so I set this in it. Not that I remember. But see these little hairy things right there? That's the thing that takes the oxygen to the plant. It receives the oxygen and then it receives it to the plant. If I water this and put the water all the way to the top up here, I will kill the plant. It won't be able to get the oxygen it needs. So when I go to re-water, because I don't want the water to go all the way out, I'm just gonna either just take it to the very bottom like I did when I started, or I'll look and see where those oxygen portions stop, and then I'll go just below that. Okay, because I do not want to kill the plant. You can drown your plant. Okay, plants need oxygen also. And when I say they need oxygen, I'm not talking about this portion of the plant, right? I know this is the greenery. The plant is actually the roots, the life, the part that keeps this alive is not this. This is the results of the plant being alive or not. This is what needs to be remain alive, the roots. So remember what I mentioned about this plant? I said I'm hoping and praying. I'm not too worried about it looking bad, but as long as the roots down there are looking good. Now I haven't checked it out yet to see what the status of that is, and I guess I could do that while y'all here, but you don't want to drown your plant. So I am with, and also you see how there's some of those oxygen roots, they're down here. You see that? The reason that is because the water is lower, so they grabbing oxygen from there too. So if I continue to let it go down and down and down and down, those oxygen portion will continue to pop out to help get oxygen. And then if I then put the water above those areas, I could kill the plant. So what does that mean? I want to keep my water at a certain level. I don't want it to drop too far down. But the thing is, I could go away on vacation a whole month and this plant will be okay. Okay, this is hydroponics, y'all. This is called hydroponics. You're growing in water. The only reason I have anything up here is to keep the plants sturdy from falling over, tilting over. It keep it strong and let the roots do its thing. That's the only reason, which means I could put anything up here. Anything that'll just help keep that plant, you know. So if this was a plant that was going to grow cucumbers, now this is just basil. So truly I could have put some cotton balls on each side and just let it do its thing. But we got to remember, if it was growing anything that's going to have some big fruit on it, then you definitely got to make sure that what you put in here is very important, right? Because you got to be able to hold whatever is growing. You got to be able to hold the weight of the cucumbers or the tomatoes. You see what I'm saying? So that's the only reason. So you could grow in dirt, and as y'all can see, I'm going to be growing some things hydroponically. Actually, I'm going to be growing everything, almost everything that I'm growing both ways, mostly everything, just to do a test. But this is just basil, okay? This is basil. So let me go in, and because it's small like it is, everything that you grow, you got to be very careful, and you got to know what you're growing so you can make adjustments. Because the basil, it will spring out, right? When I start pinching these things off, it'll start growing bushy. If I don't want it to grow bushy, then I'll just allow it to just grow the way it's growing. Okay? You determine some things. You train things on how to grow in a lot of cases. Okay? Now, the reason I'm saying that is because this is small. It's always going to be kind of small enough for me to just lift it up and put some water in it. Okay? It's always going to be small enough for me to do that. But let's say I was growing a tomato, which I am going to grow tomatoes hydroponically, but not in a bottle. It's going to be in a bucket. Okay? When I get hubby to drill them holes in my bucket for me. Yeah. Anyway, the reason I say that, let's say I was growing, my peas are out there growing real pretty, y'all. Let's say I was growing, let's see what we got here. Nah, I won't grow that hydroponically. You can't grow roots hydroponically. They grow in, say I was growing beans. Or even tomatoes. Let's say tomatoes. Let's say I'm growing tomatoes hydroponically. Right? As the tomatoes get have weight to them and things like that, get a little more, but I'm not going to be able to come in, lift this up to put water in it. And so you determine what you're growing. Because if I was growing tomatoes in this, because I do have some smaller tape tomatoes, I think cherry tomatoes, I might be able to grow in a bottle like this. Okay? But I won't be able to lift that up. So what I would do is I might put a little hole in a certain area, large enough where I will be able to water in that hole. Okay? Water. So when I need to water it. Or I always thought I could water it directly from the top. Right? If I needed to put more water in this and this was too bushy, water right here and it'll go through the holes and go in there. Okay? But that's the thing. You got to plan, know what you're doing, and figure it out. And it's not that easy for me this year because I'm doing so many different things, testing things differently. And therefore, I have to write things down, figure out where I'm putting things even in my yard. Okay? Because I don't want to buy a lot of things. Like trellises for all my tomatoes and my cucumbers. I don't want to buy all those trellises. So I have some naturally grown trees or bushes in my yard, and I'm growing those things close to that so it can climb its way up those for support. Okay? Cucumber will run. They're runners. Okay? In other words, you could grow it in a shady area, although it needs high sun. The plant itself will go and chase that sun. Okay? It will go and get what it needs to get, which is a good thing. They're runners. Okay? You just don't want them to run where you might walk. You don't want to walk on them and crush them up and shit like that. They don't have to be trellises. You know, I'm seeing people buy trellises and things. I'm like, my dad didn't have no trellis. They had a couple of sticks to hold up the base of the plant. But there was no expensive trellises. Okay? I just don't remember. The things used to run on the ground to a degree. Up the side of the house, I remember my grandmother had tomatoes running up the, was it tomatoes? Yeah, tomatoes was running up the side of her porch. And she would just go outside the porch and grab a tomato off right there. It's running up the house. Okay? I don't know what these seeds are. I'm going to put those over there. Anyway, any questions, comments, suggestions? I don't know. I hope I answered the questions. These things do come in different sizes. You can grow in jars. It's just a jar. Make sure that the mouth of the jar fits whatever it is that you have. You can grow in soda bottles. Okay, I am going to grow this basil fully in this soda bottle so y'all can see it. And as y'all can see what I was talking about earlier about the algae. Algae is from the sunlight. Okay, now I could prevent this by keeping this cover on it. This label on it will prevent that algae. And that's why I mentioned it to you. You don't have to take your labels off if you're going to be outside. Keep the label on. Or get you some spray paint and spray the bottle. Okay? To keep the algae out. If the algae bothers you. The honest truth, I didn't even notice that there was algae in this until it was on side of this one in the house. Outdoors, I was like, I wonder when the algae going to come. From outside, I couldn't see the algae. Okay, from outdoors with the sunlight against it, it just looked like water. Okay, but when I brought it indoors, I put it against this one, I could clearly see the algae, right? You could clear, and y'all probably think a bomb, that's obvious, but if I hadn't put this here, and maybe not, maybe because I am indoors without the sunlight, I could see it's green. But from outdoors, I didn't see that. I didn't notice that. Okay. Does it help? Does it hurt the plant? It does not, unless it get real thick. I'm going to have to look that up. Don't quote me on that, okay? Don't quote me on that, y'all. Don't quote. But this is a very healthy plant. Very healthy. Y'all saw all the roots. It's very healthy, and I can't wait to. The thing about basil, you only need a little bit, because you pinch off what you want to put in your pot. Okay. Anyway, I'm put this back out. Do it. Now this one, we're gonna see. Let's take a look at this. It's my fault, and I do see my potatoes out there as dry as hell now too. Let me go grab that. Okay, so let me quickly. So these things was healthy as hell just the other day. Now this, I was showing y'all how to grow your sweet potatoes, yam, sweet potatoes. And the way to grow potatoes is through slips. So here's my slips growing. Y'all remember when I started? Now you see, it had water in there, but just put water in there just 2 days ago, but it's so hot out there. So let me put that in. So I know, the little test that I'm doing. I had water in here 2 days ago. I had about that much water in there 2 evenings ago. And it dried up. Which, it teaches me something. It tells me, okay, when it's really hot out there, Bomb, you're going to have to water at least every other day, at minimum. Just the other day, this was looking good. This is a tomato. This is a red cherry tomato. It was looking good. And look at it. Okay. And also, I got to be very careful because I'm not using soil here. It's my fault on this, y'all. I'm not using soil. Remember, I'm using that tea bags. Soil will retain the water, hold the water. And this stuff does not. Okay? So I either have to water often, or I need to put some soil in here. Okay, I'll have to put some soil in here. Now I have a lot of them growing. I'm gonna show y'all that before I end this. I have a lot of little red cherry tomatoes, all kinds of tomatoes growing. They're so tiny over there. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with all them plants. But I gotta be very careful with this. And this was looking very good. It still looks okay and everything, but it was bright green, like the basil. This is habanero pepper. This is a hot pepper. Um, and I just watered this just like 2 days ago. Now, if I put them in the ground, they'll do better. But if I put them in the ground, the birds will eat them. They're not sturdy enough yet. Okay. This one, on the other hand, is sturdy enough to put in the ground. See how this portion right here is a little thicker? I could put that in the ground. Okay. I could put this one in the ground, but I'm going to wait and see what it does. I don't want to put it out to look at the roots. The roots are what's important. Okay. So I'm going to leave that there. Now, let's take a look at this, though. I'm about to make a mess. Let me find something. Because I really don't want to make a mess. I've already made a little mess. I don't want to make a big mess. Okay, I'm about to... Let me see how I use this. Let's take a look at these roots. Because this plant went through stress, okay? I'm going to tell you what the 2 stresses was. First, it was in a cup with no holes in it. So when it rained out there, it was waterlogged. Then I fixed it. I think y'all may remember that. If you go back to the last video, I think you'll see where it was waterlogged. I was like, oh my God, I didn't have no water in it. No holes in it. So I then switched it, fixed it, put it in a correct container with holes so it could have drainage. But then, when I went out there, it went through stress of being dried out because of the heat wave. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the root ball. All I'm doing is just lifting it up, grabbing the soil off. And the root ball, let me see. It's encased in some moisture right now. I hope I didn't remember I said you could drown a plant. You could drown. So when it wasn't having drainage, it was sitting in there. So I brought this one indoors so I can hopefully save it. I feel like it's one of my babies, y'all. I feel like it was one of my babies. It was looking so pretty. I was so proud of her. I was so proud. And then it was my fault. Everything that happened to her, it's mommy's fault, okay? And maybe I need to start singing to her and talking to her, telling her I apologize. And give the roots a little wiggle. Now clump them up, maybe. See if I can tender care them. Don't want to put anything in the ground that's not going to survive, right? That would be ridiculous. I mean, it'd be a waste of space. So if my baby going to die, I'm going to bury her and put her far in the backyard so she can go become one with my dirt. She's still going to help other plants if she don't survive, okay? If she don't survive, it'll be okay. She's going to get a renewed life. I don't know. I don't even see the oxygen. They here. I'm gonna replant her in the same container. Let me go. I'm gonna wash the roots off. Give me a second, y'all. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. She done been through something. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it in a bottle. I'm not gonna put in any soil. I'm gonna put her in this. Okay, I'm gonna use this. Let me go put some water in. Okay, I'm gonna need one of these. Okay, so hold up, let me back this up a little bit so y'all can see what I'm doing. So I'm gonna put a little salt, just a little bit at the bottom. Tiny bit, see, just a tiny bit. No, I'm gonna just lay her in there. I'm gonna see if she can find her way to the inside the water, man. I really would like to just put it in water like this. Y'all have any solutions on how I could keep her? Maybe a smaller container. I think maybe like this, but I'm gonna leave her like this. And we're gonna see how she do. I'm gonna pray for her and hope that she do well, but if she doesn't, okay, we're gonna give her a good burial. You could grow plants in just some water. You don't need any particular anything, but the reason why you have those cups is to keep her standing up like this, right? But you know, if somebody in your family has a nice plant or even a vegetable plant, did you know you could go and clip a piece off? Depending on where you clip it from, you put it in some water, that portion will grow roots, and now you have, boom, essentially you have a plant growing. Trees are that way also, but except trees, you don't grow roots from a tree stem. You have to kind of put it, you know, I forget what it's called. That's a term. It came to my mind, but it didn't went away. I could go clip your apple tree and put it against just a tree. Don't even have to be an apple tree. And if I could get it to be a part of that tree, did you know the portion that was the apples will grow apples, and the other portion of the other tree will continue to grow? Did y'all know that? I was shocked by that. I was like, what? I was like, so I don't have to go and buy $100 tree when I can, you know, or if I do, there could be a few of us putting this money, you know, as the tree get a little larger, I give a little piece. But they clip off clippings off trees and things. Man, when I saw them people, how they was selling trees, fruit trees, I promise you that's what they do. And then the fruit tree, depending on which fruit it is, I've seen where at the end of the year, they weatherproof the tree, right? Because they have these, I think these trees that are off, they're small trees, but they're fruit trees. So they'll go and grab it out the yard. You know when we go to buy a tree, you ever look and see that it's just a dry looking stick in the store? That's because that's what they do every year. They weatherproof it. They go out there and you dig it out of your yard, and you take the roots and everything, and you wrap it all up and everything, keep it all warm through the winter months, and then they go put it back out when it warms up, and it grows fruit. I was like, wait a minute, what? So, shit, I'm going to do some research on that because I do want some fruit trees, and I definitely would love some grapes. I love grapes, okay? I'm already doing a lot of watermelon this year, okay? It shocks the hell out of me, man, how the earth works. And look, we could call it science, but science is just things that happens in the world, and they figured out why it happens and how it happens. And it still is magical, though, right? The way these things come in a full circle. How bugs help fruit, you know, and we eat fruit, and vegetables, and animals eat fruits and vegetables too, and then we end up eating animals. And I remember having a conversation, I think with JP. he was over here, and I had mentioned bees, how bees are so important that the world would end essentially when bees die, unless we scientifically come up with some other way of doing certain things, which there is a way to self-pollinate, but without bees, we're going to be in trouble. Okay? And he was like, I was like, yeah, because bees help pollinate fruits and vegetables, and he was like, well, we still have meat. And I said, but animals eat fruits and vegetables. Okay? Like, you can't have meat because animals won't survive. So, I don't know. We could call it science. Some people call it magic. It could be magic, but magic, and you figure out how this magic works. Here's a... but anyway, y'all, I'm going to have some slips for some yams. Anybody want some yams? Because I have another one outside, and it's not doing very well. Like, it's not really creating the slips. And it's slow as hell out there. And it pisses me off being so slow. This one I thought was slow at one time, too. But I noticed what happened when the potato got more rotten, then the potato started to sprout. But when I got them, they looked new. They looked like I could have actually just cut them up and cooked them. So I did a little research because I was thinking, am I doing something wrong? Each of these slips will be a whole thing of potatoes. Okay? And there's slips growing on slips. So here will be a slip. That little one, when it grows taller, it'll be a slip, 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 slip. Right? And when they get large enough, I'll put them in the ground. And the root of these will make sweet potatoes. Okay? Because the sweet potato is the root. The sweet potato is not the greenery. This is the greenery. Now, I wonder if anybody ever ate sweet potato greenery before? I'm trying to smell it to see what it smells like. Of course we could eat it, right? I'm quite sure if you could eat the root, you could definitely eat the plant. But I guess maybe we don't, because like they used to eat everything back in the day. Today we have just essentially just stopped. And they told us what we eat, and we only eat what they told us to eat, which is the weirdest thing. So I think this year, now I will also say though, as the potatoes form, the greenery dies with the regular potatoes. This is my first time growing sweet potatoes, so I don't know how that works. That's how you know that the potatoes are ready, because the greenery dies away. Okay? I don't know if that has to be that way, because does that make sense that the greenery have to die for the potatoes to be fully formed? I don't know. I'm going to do some research on that too. Anyway, any questions, comments, suggestions? We're going to pray, okay? We're going to do what I call a zippity-doo-dah, kind of pray on this right here. We're going to see if we can save her, but if we can't, we're going to give her a good baptism. Look, y'all, I know I'm mixing up them words, okay? Y'all know I'm not into religion, okay? So don't be mad at me, okay? Anyway, any questions about how I take because that's all this video was supposed to be about, how I take the germination out of the napkin and sit them in something to get them kick-started. That's what this video is all about, okay? Because I did kind of leave y'all out there when you're like, what to do next, Bob? You take care of the roots, pull it away, and then drop it in some soil, drop it in some water, like as if you was growing it from the beginning. Put it in whatever you would have grew it at as when it was a seed, just drop it in that, okay? And the sooner you do it, the better, because you don't want the roots to get all tangled in. Let's see what this is. Okay. Once you see that the seeds are good, though, you could drop them directly in soil if you want to. But remember, now if you but you might not be growing in soil. You might, if you're doing hydroponically. If you're going indoors, I would recommend hydroponically. There are little kits, y'all, that's less than $100 where you could grow things. Don't let them trick you, though. Don't look at the picture and think you're going to grow some tomatoes in that thing. They're going to have to be some cherry tomatoes, okay? Because that thing only gets so tall. Just pay attention to what you can grow in it. But you can't grow a lot in it, okay? Especially if you're a salad gal or guy, okay? If you a salad girl guy, okay, am I back? Am I back, y'all? Sorry. My phone rung. And my doctor was it was my doctor. So I thought, like, she calling me almost at 8 o'clock. I'm thinking, what the hell? I thought she about to call me and tell me I got cancer. Am I back? Okay, so I thought I shut the live down because I didn't want y'all to hear me faint. You know what I mean? Look, why would my doctor be calling me this late? They not even open this goddamn late. I'm thinking, the doctor calling me, they about to give me some bad news. I didn't want y'all to, hear me screaming and hitting the floor. Y'all know I'm a whole bitch over here, right? I'm a whole crybaby. I'm not a crybaby, but I'm a bitch. That means first I'm a faint. I'm gonna hit the floor, blam. Okay, hubby gonna come and say, what's wrong? What's wrong? I'm gonna be like, and he gonna have to put that smelly sauce under my nose and shit. I'm gonna come through. He gonna be like, what's wrong? And I'll be like, them motherfuckers, they should have, I knew it. They should have been told me when I was born that I was going to have such and such and such and such. I was going to blame them. I was going to blame everybody, my mama, my daddy. Okay, like I was gonna become man and spirit red pill real quick, y'all. I was gonna blame my mama and my daddy. I was gonna say they shouldn't have had me. It's their fault. They shouldn't have brought me into this world. Anyway, thank you, May. Anyway, y'all, I hope that it is helping y'all because I know it be all over the place, but I'm just giving y'all some details. Y'all could go all over YouTube to find out how to put it in the ground and shit like that, right? Which, when I start putting things mostly in the ground, I will show y'all that, but I don't think I have to. Y'all may end up seeing it when it's in the ground, but the truth is I'm not going to be outside trying to set up no camera when I'm digging in the dirt, you know. Now, I do need to get me some gloves because, yeah, I got to get me some gloves for when I'm digging in that dirt, okay? But anyway, I have admitted that I will be only testing certain things this year for the first time. Like this basil, I'm very proud of it, right? Because it's my first time growing hydroponically. It's my very first time doing it, and so I'm very proud of it. And other things, this is my first time doing the sweet potato slips, okay? Which I did not know that sweet potatoes was done different than my potatoes. Now, my potatoes are outside growing nicely. And I'll show y'all that the next time. I'll do a little update, maybe put a little video up. How do I know they're growing nicely? Because the greenery. So what you do with potatoes, you hill them. What does hill mean? Hilling them means just like remember when I put this in, there wasn't much, well, y'all didn't see me do this one, okay, but something I just did where I put a little dirt at the bottom and I put the plant in, right? And then I covered it up a little bit. Well, with potatoes, I put the potatoes in, which I do have some potatoes to grow. Maybe I'll show you that tomorrow. I do have some potatoes that ended up with some eyes on them, and I'm going to plant them. And I will show you how to do that. Now, I tell you, if you have nothing else that you want to grow, but you do eat French fries and potatoes, sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, try a potato, y'all. It's so easy. It is so goddamn easy. I don't think there's anything easier than potatoes. Why? Let me tell you why. First of all, you could grow a potato in a bag. And when I say a bag, I'm talking about a whole goddamn plastic bag. You grow it in a bag, a bucket. You could grow it in a container. But remember, whatever you grow it in, it needs to be big. Because potatoes, you're going to end up with a sack of potatoes. Okay? You're going to end up with a sack of potatoes. So that's why a big trash bag is a very good idea to grow in. Okay? Potatoes are roots as well, like carrots. So it doesn't need no sunlight inside the bag. So a big black bag will be great. You're going to put a little dirt at the bottom of the bag. You're going to cut some holes or poke some holes in it. And the only reason you do that is so there'll be no waterlog. So if it rains, the water will drain out. That's what the holes are for. Okay? Because you could drown your plants. Like I said that already, right? You poke holes at the bottom. You put a little dirt in the bottom. And you put a potato in. And you cover it up. Now, depending on how many potatoes you're putting in, I recommend 2, 3, right? In a bigger bag, you could do more. But you're just going to slightly cover the potato with dirt, soil. I even heard people growing them in leaves, okay? So it don't even have to be no special type of soil. Just go get you one bag of soil. Bam, bam, boom. Now, you cover them up. And then you're going to see the greenery start to grow. Okay? As the greenery starts to grow, you're going to cover the stalk of the greenery. Right? That's called healing it. That means it starts out maybe with a little dirt. And as the greenery grow, you're going to put some more dirt. And the greenery grows some more. Because every time as the greenery is growing, remember, okay, think about this. Let me show y'all visually. Oh, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this one. See these roots? A plant has many roots. What is a potato? A root. So one potato grows many roots. It grows many potatoes. That's what that means. And so as this grows, roots start springing out. So as the potato grow, the greenery grow, right? A root may sprout from here. A root sprouts from here. That's going to end up being a potato. So since you had your dirt here, as that grew up, you know you got to heal it. Because this going to end up being a root. That's going to end up being a potato. So you heal it. And then now your dirt is here, right? And as it grow taller, boom, 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 another root going to pop up, spring out on all sides. And so you're going to put more dirt and dirt and dirt. And you're going to keep doing that. And if you don't do that, then you just won't grow a whole shitload of potatoes. Because you would, remember, the roots need to be underground. Okay, to keep them safe, to keep them, they don't like the sunlight, all of that. They want to be underground. So you heal it. That's what healing means. It starts off a little, but you're going to keep putting dirt on top. You're going to keep putting dirt on top. Keep putting dirt on top. You're going to know when to put dirt on top because you're going to see. When you go out there, you might actually see a root. And you'll be like, oh, I got to cover this root up. Okay? And you're going to cover it up, cover it up. Now, it's going to take about 2, 3 months. Maybe even 4, depending on. But when you open that bag up, because what happened, your greenery going to die away. What does that mean? When it starts turning brown, when it look like this, you're going to be like, oh, I might have another couple of weeks. And I'm going to have all my potatoes are going to be ready. And then it's going to get browner. And then they're going to die down. And then you're going to know, okay, there will be no more potatoes being created. Because it don't have any more energy to grow no more potatoes. And so you're going to go and tear open that bag. And you should have a whole shitload of potatoes. Okay. Now imagine having 2 and 3 of these, right? You got 2 and 3. You put 2 and 3 potatoes. A potato should definitely give you one should give you a lot of potatoes. If you got 3 in that bag, you're gonna get a shitload of potatoes. Okay. And that's how it happened. How do you grow potatoes? You're like, hey, Mom, how do I grow potatoes? You could go buy a potato seed from the store. It's only gonna cost you a couple dollars. Or you could go and buy a potato in a store. What I would look for, though, is the oldest looking potato. The one that you wouldn't choose to cook it is the one you would choose to grow it. Okay? And that's because you remember what I said with this? I noticed that once it started to dry up, this it started to really get the eyes on it, and the eyes is what you're looking for. This is the sweet potato. Sweet potatoes are the same way, except you grow from the greenery instead of growing directly from the potato. And the regular potatoes, you grow from the potato. You grow from the potato itself. Okay. I wonder though, because I wonder like, can I grow potatoes the same way I grow sweet potatoes? Like, because they do grow, like you put them in dirt and it does grow the greenery. I wonder if I take the greenery, would I be able to then, would it grow roots? Right? That, like I'm not understanding the rules that I've heard. You know, because think about it. If I did this to a regular potato, it would grow greenery too, right? Yes, it would grow just like this grow. So would I be able to, just like I could take these slips to grow sweet potatoes, can I take the slips from a potato? I don't know. I'm just asking the question, okay? Don't say that what I'm saying is right or wrong. I don't know. It could be wrong, okay? I'm just wondering why we know that potatoes soaked in water will grow some roots and it will grow some greenery. I'm gonna be honest, I never seen my dad grow no sweet potatoes from no slips before. They used to put all the potatoes out in the yard and grow. Okay, so that's why I asked question, because I really don't, I've never seen my dad with nothing called no potato slips. They used to go out there and they used to grow everything from everything. It grows from itself. When they growing beans, they didn't have no packet of no beans. They used this. My dad would go and buy a bag of beans and grow his beans. Okay? And then when I ended up buying some beans, they looked just like the bean. I was like, wait a minute. I paid $2.50 for 12 beans. And I could have paid $2.50 for 100 beans. Like, what the hell is going on here? Oh yeah, did I tell you I'm growing beans? I'm growing pinto beans. And now hubby done bought me some red kidney beans. I'm about to put some of them in some dirt this week. Okay, these right here. So, and I think we have some black-eyed peas. I don't know how they grow their peas. I'm gonna grow these, y'all. I'm gonna take maybe about 5 of these and grow them. We're gonna do some tests this year. Actually, what today is, baby? Thursday? Yeah. You want me to put, we're gonna take the crock pot down. I'm gonna put some beans on for tomorrow. You okay with that? Okay. So, look, the only reason I want to cook them beans so I could take a few of them beans out of there and put them in some dirt. I am gonna propagate them. I'm gonna germinate them first, right? And then I am going to put them in some soil. We're gonna grow some beans. I don't think we'll never be able to grow enough beans in this house. Okay? It might be a waste of time growing beans, because you know beans grow in a thing, and there might be 5 beans in this little thing, and you need a lot of them, and you need a whole lot of beans to grow beans just for me to cook a pot of beans. I was just buy the beans, but I do want to grow and see what it look like. We eat a lot of beans in this house. We'll never be able to keep up. Okay. That's a fantasy dream where I'm gonna grow my own beans, baby, and we're gonna cook only my beans. That means we only eating beans a couple of times a year, okay? We eat beans a couple of times a week. Anyway, y'all, I'm gone. I may go live later. If not, I'm definitely gonna go live tomorrow. Okay? If somebody go live though, y'all that I like, that y'all know I like, send me a message or something, you know, and say, hey, so and so is live. so I can go over there. And I still, who I have a hit out on? I have a hit out on somebody. I forgot. No, I was on a, oh yeah, I put a hit out on Miss, what her name is? I was Lockhart. And I was up there with her yesterday over there by JP, if y'all didn't miss that. We had a great conversation, right? Yeah, I put a hot, I forgot I put a hit out on her. But I did see her over there by JP, and I went up there, but I didn't go up there to get on her though. We had a good conversation. It was a good conversation. I cussed out one too many times. She was like, she didn't say nothing about it. She mentioned it, and I was like, well, anyway, I was mean, okay? And I shouldn't have been mean too. I shouldn't have been mean. I don't know. Okay, I'll talk to y'all later, y'all. I'm out.